Welcome to Paint Ed. PCA provides painting contractors with connections they need to grow their business. To find out more and to become a member, visit pcapainted.org. Find more great content just like this on PCA Overdrive. A subscription to the platform is included with membership. For all you non-members out there, sign up for a free trial. PCA Overdrive is available on the App Store and Google Play. This episode is brought to you by Pittsburgh Paints and Bear.
The marketing example is, I think, a fantastic one, where it's like this that used to take 2 hours at 10 p.m. when you're like, oh my gosh, but I just don't have time to sit down and write a 2-hour email. Great. Have ChatGPT create a first draft and then spend 20 minutes reviewing it. That saved you an hour and 40 minutes.
Welcome back to another episode of the Elite Business Advice Podcast. My name is Chris Moore, the founder of Elite Business Advisors, your host here for the podcast. Do you ever wonder how you should be leveraging AI and different technology in your business? Do you feel lost, sometimes maybe on where to start or where to even begin thinking about with all the different things that are available? And let's be real, technology has rapidly changed in the last few years thanks to AI and just the trend we were heading on anyways, right? Like maybe does it feel just like lost to you and you're like, I don't even know where to start. Well, I'm going to insert my favorite AI and technology filter into this episode just for you. And his name's Dan Fleisher. If you haven't met Dan before, he's an amazing human being. He's become a great friend of mine. I'm so glad we were introduced years ago. He's the co-founder of a company called HireBus, along with Brandon Vaughn. Some of you guys may also know Brandon here from the painting space. Dan spoke at our retreat the last 2 years about technology and how we're utilizing this in our painting business. And I joke all the time that he's like my filter for technology because that's part of his job, is to kind of keep up with it. And then I get to leverage his brain and his intellect on like, how do we actually use this, right? What should we be doing in our business? What should our clients be doing in their business? And so we thought it'd be fun to just do a whole episode on this today and kind of give you some of that insight and context into what you should be doing, how you should be utilizing AI and technology to save hundreds of hours researching and testing out and figuring out what makes sense for you. So I hope it helps. Thanks for plugging in. This is the Elite Business Advice Podcast. Dan, thanks for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to talk today.
Me too, man. I always love our conversations. I love the podcasts we've done together. We've done quite a few. I appreciate you, like randomly we'll just be like, hey, do you want to just riff off on a podcast? And it always comes out great. And so don't let me down on this one.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
kidding.
Now I got to make sure I bring the heat because you're hyping me up here. You're hyping me up.
Well, I mean,
it's always a good time when we riff, especially
it is.
This time we're talking about AI, which I feel like I've got a lot to say.
Which is great because I may not. So this is fantastic. No, I'm kidding. We joke all the time. Like, so, for everybody listening, Dan and I typically hop on a call once a month for about an hour and just catch up and brainstorm for each other's businesses. And I really value that time. Like we've joked a lot. We're like, we should have just recorded this conversation because like we get off on tangents and we get off on things that like people would actually find value in. And so I don't know, maybe we'll just start a new mini series on that or something. So
we should just do like segments where we actually have, I think we talk for like an hour and there's, 30 seconds of gold and 59 minutes and 30 seconds of us searching around and reaching for the gold.
Agreed. So and that's okay. That's okay. So, well, I appreciate it, man. So as we talk about AI technology, I think here's like an easy question that I think will kind of set the tone for the rest of this conversation. Is AI like the solution, or is it a tool that we should really just be leveraging in our business?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of my favorite, a quote I learned from an early business mentor in my life. This is when I was working in a company, we were releasing a new product, and I was like, oh, everything's going to change because we have this new amazing technology. And he said, there's no silver bullets in business. There's just lead bullets. And that is true about AI. Like AI is great. It's a huge advancement. It's clearly like a step change in technology, but it is not the answer. And I think this is I'm coming on to talk to you about AI, and my core philosophy about AI is maybe like counterintuitive, which is just AI is a tool. And if that tool is not more effective at doing the job than your current tool, don't use it. Um, and so I think that's where, when I see all these cool AI companies coming out, I really want us to all be critical about it and think about the so what. It's like, is this cheaper than something I'm currently doing? Is it faster than something I'm currently doing? Or is it better at what I'm currently doing? And if it's not, probably two or three of those, then is
Yeah.
it worth the switching cost? I don't know. So
Yep.
it's
I
a little bit
love
of
it,
an
man,
anti
because
approach.
like, no. I think it's good. And again, I think it's real. It's real to get the perspective, right? Because I do see a lot of contractors, a lot of painting contractors with like shiny object syndrome. They chase the silver bullets, right? And unfortunately, there's nothing I've ever seen that is all like the end all be all solution, right?
No.
Like even a lot of super detailed, custom built things still has gaps, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I truthfully, and I've said this a lot, I don't think there will ever be an end all be all solution to a software for the painting industry, right? Everybody's like, why can't we just take this and this and this? And I'm like, well, one, there's probably a reason behind it. Two, like everything's different for how people need it, right? So just
Yeah.
even if you and I sat down and said, Dan, we're going to build the perfect software for a painting company, and we built it exactly how you and I felt, that was like the perfect end all be all, you don't need another single thing in your business. It wouldn't work for somebody in Minnesota. It wouldn't work for somebody in Wyoming. It wouldn't work for somebody in Florida, because whatever they need is somewhat different.
Totally.
So like,
Totally.
let's just accept that there's not going to be that. That's okay. Let's get it as efficient down to a couple softwares, but don't get distracted with like the new cool thing that comes out, unless it's really a radical change that's going to change the landscape.
I couldn't agree more. And like, where I think the power of AI, where I think where I am a true believer and where I think this is really powerful, is AI allows for customization with your specific business needs.
Yes.
We use AI for HireBus, you use AI for EBA, our clients use
Yeah.
AI. And it's like, that's where this is a big step change, is now you can customize it to the business in Minnesota versus the business in Florida versus the
Yep.
business in Seattle. So that's
Yep.
where there's a lot of cool things, but there's not, you can't go sign up for a software platform right now
No.
that's perfect for going to solve all your business
Exactly. Because it
problems.
doesn't
Sorry, everybody.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to burst everybody's bubble, but I just want to get that. I want to get the bad news out of the way first. It's all up from here, right? So let's jump into kind of some of the benefits of leveraging AI. And when we say AI on this today, like just technology in general, right? It doesn't have to be AI, although most technology has some AI components and driven stuff to it. But just when we talk AI technology, we'll kind of use those interchangeably here for simplicity. But like, one, what are some of the benefits? And two, like, why should I spend my time investing into these things in my business?
Yeah, I love that you're saying like technology in general, because the line is so blurred.
Yeah.
As a quick aside, like, we own the domain hirebus.ai. We obviously hirebus.com is our website.
Yeah.
And for a while we're like, oh, should we change to hirebus AI? And the answer is no, because although we leverage AI, that's not what we do. And it's
Yeah.
the same thing for all the contractors, painting contractors specifically out here, which is like, you probably will use AI in the same way that you use a website or automation tool or a CRM. It's a tool to do a job, but it isn't like what you do. And
Right.
so, to go back to the actual question, um, I think the biggest thing is to just look at, what am I actually doing? It's like, at the end of the day, businesses are like the simplest, most complex thing in the world. I need to get customer clients, prospects, whatever you want to call it, to know who I am. I need to convert them into paying clients. I need to serve them. I need to produce, and then I need to hopefully create a system where I can serve them again. And so it's like, how can I use technology to improve each of those functions one at a time? The way I always just like to look at a business, like, all right, marketing. What am I doing in marketing that I could replace with technology? Doesn't
Yep.
mean you need to have an AI platform, but maybe it's, okay, I make X emails a month. Can I use
Yeah.
AI to write the first draft of those? So I think that's the frame in which we should look at this. And maybe I'll throw this back to you, Chris. Like,
Yeah.
you're in front of your clients all the time. What do you see as some of the biggest pain points that they're experiencing where technology could benefit them?
Yeah. I mean, I think a couple of things. One just being like what are like what you just said? I know we're going to go through some tangible examples in a second, but like just the things to get something 80 to 90% of the way done, right? Like we're going to dive through kind of the big 5 areas of business and kind of how we can leverage AI through that. But like marketing is one, as you just said, right? We encourage people to write a monthly value add email that goes out to your previous clients at least once a month. And we want it to have be value add, right? Maybe it's about like, recent like things going on seasonally in your market. Maybe it's things going on as a homeowner seasonally, right? If you're in the residential space, hey, here's 7 homeowner tips this fall to get your house ready for wintertime, right? It shouldn't all be painting, by the way. It should be like, other value add services. Maybe paint is like one of them on there, right? How can you leverage ChatGPT to just write that email 80 to 90% of the way there? And you go through and humanize it, make a few tweaks. And instead of you spending 2 hours doing it, you spend 20 minutes doing it, right? That's where I see that. I see a lot of painting contractors running it like 110% capacity. And I don't mean production, I mean mental entrepreneur wearing all the hats or wearing many of the hats, even. And they're just running at capacity. How can we leverage AI to like get some of our time back in that sense?
I like couldn't you hit the nail on the head. I had to give some pretty direct feedback in my business a few weeks ago because I read one of our marketing campaigns and it was clearly just prompted ChatGPT output, put this in put this in HubSpot and send it out to people. It's like the whole, and this is where I think the technology can go wrong when you think it can replace you or a task. No, it almost never can fully replace a task, but it just it supplants 80% of the work. And so the marketing example is, I think, a fantastic one where it's like this that used to take 2 hours at 10 p.m. when you're like, oh my gosh, I got to write that stupid monthly newsletter that Chris told me to do. And I know it's worthwhile because I know I'm going to generate 10 leads from it or whatever it may be, but I just don't have time to sit down and write a 2-hour email. Great. Have ChatGPT create a first draft and then spend 20 minutes reviewing it. That saved you an hour and 40 minutes.
Yep.
Boom.
Exactly.
And I think the framework that, and Chris, I'd be curious to your take on it. The framework that I've taken is like, I know as a business owner, I can be really effective for me, I don't know, 50, 60 hours a week. But every incremental hour after that, I get really worn down, really burnt out. And so that's how I started to attack this about a year ago when I really started to dive in. I was like, what are the things I'm doing at 10 p.m.? Like after everyone's asleep that I need to make more efficient. Finance was a big one, like P&L review. Categorizing expenses was a big one. Writing marketing campaigns. And so that's where I started. What are those things I'm doing at 10 p.m. that are painful that I can shrink the time of? Okay, great. Then what are the things that I can automate? And we can get into that, but I think you're spot on, which is like, how can you use it to help you save 80% of the time on some of these tasks? And if you do that with a handful of tasks a week, you've got a few hours.
And so here's another like example too, on the personal side. Like we're going to talk mostly business today, but like feel free to throw anything else in while we're on the topic here, because I think this might help relate the point home even more drastic in this sense. What are the things personally that we can even leverage AI for, right? And I say AI is more Chat GPT on this one. But like, here's a perfect example. How long does it take you or whoever to plan out meals for the week, like we have to do as responsible adults with kids, and then come up with a grocery list for it? And like, just that alone, right? Like, you still have to shop for it, whether you use Walmart Plus like we do, or you actually go to the grocery store, Instacart, whatever. But like, just even saying like, what are we going to eat this week? Okay. And then what do we need to have in order to make all that food? Like ChatGPT can do that in no time. Right. So there's little things like that I think can go a long way. And again, that's just an example of what we're talking about. How do we take an hour-long task and slam it down into 10 minutes?
Totally. It's the other thing about this is it's just like the muscle memory, it's one of those things where I think a lot of the stuff I listen to where it's like, if you're not using AI for everything, it's like, come on, that's not realistic. Like, but as I start to get more reps and get more comfortable with it and know what it's good at and what it's not good at, it's really beneficial. Like to the personal life example, my wife is pregnant right now and she wasn't feeling great. And so, yes, it was Saturday. We hadn't gone to the grocery store yet. I didn't really want to go shopping. And so I literally opened up ChatGPT, pressed the microphone button, walked around my kitchen, was like, all right, I got some peppers, I got this. I literally just like listed things I saw. And I was like, I need a quick recipe. And it spun me up something that was pretty good. And it was like,
That's
I'm not that
awesome.
good of a cook. And it's just like the muscle memory being like, oh yeah, this is probably a good task for ChatGPT
Yeah.
to
Yep.
help me save some time.
And I think that's the thing. Well, like most things, when you start using it, you find more ways to use it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's when you understand how to like prompt it, right? Like there's a post that we put out a little bit ago. It was a carousel, but it was like, here's like the 4 steps on how to create a good prompt in Chat
Hmm.
GPT, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like when you understand like a little bit on how to use it even at another level, and then you just realize like, oh, I use it for this. Oh, I can use it for this. Oh, I can talk to it and tell it ingredients and it'll come up with a recipe. Like, and now you're like, oh, what else can I use it for? Right. Unfortunately, it
Hmm.
won't fold laundry for you. Like when you figure that one out, let me
Tell
know.
me. The unfolded
Um,
laundry basket is my specialty. I'm great at getting it to be dry,
oh yeah.
clean, dry in a basket. Not folding
It's almost getting to where like I feel weird if we don't have 4 laundry baskets full of clean clothes in our house
it.
because like that's just our norm, right? At this point. But and I'll take most of the responsibility on that. It's not a dig at my wife for any of you guys that are gonna text her about that. So but like anyways, I agree. Like I think it's just the repetition, it reinforces the habit of going to Chat GPT for everything. And I think that's where when you hear people say, like, you shouldn't do anything without talking to Chat GPT first. It's like, I understand the premise behind it, maybe take the logic to like 60%. But like I understand what they're trying to say with this is like once you get used to it, you will find more and more ways to utilize it. I have one like random like rabbit hole I want to go down.
Hit me.
Um, do you think that in our busy society, right, we're going to take all these 2 hour tasks and slim them down to 20 minutes? What do you think we're just going to do with the rest of our hour and 40 minutes we got back, though?
I mean, I'm a big believer in Parkinson's law, which is like work expands to the space you give it. We see that all the time with meetings. If you set an hour meeting, it's going to take an hour. If you set a 30-minute meeting, it's going to take 30 minutes. Um, so I think we'll expand overall work into our allotted working time. I don't philosophically believe that we are just like magically going to be working 25 hours a week and chilling without a ton of discipline. I do think though that if we are disciplined and smart about what we do, we will either work the same amount of time and work more efficiently, or we will work less at the same amount of productivity, assuming we are disciplined. What I think will happen without discipline, though, is that we will just fill the time with less fruitful tasks. I
Yep.
mean, if you look at efficacy, like volume of work produced via number of hours, our productivity has gone up and it continues to go up
Yeah.
over time. But I think, especially, and I'm talking about myself here, as someone who has been trained to be busy and like at the end of the day, be
Yep.
like, wow, I had a busy day, pat myself
Yeah.
on the back, good job being busy, versus being like, well, what was the thing you did that actually moved the needle? I think there's a pretty big risk that we sometimes
Agreed.
face.
Agreed. And I don't, again, I'm like you, like maybe I shouldn't have made that point because I feel like I'm being counterproductive here. But also, it's so true. Like I think about that. Like we've been using Walmart Plus for years. It comes with our Amex card, so we don't even pay for it, which is great. But like, I'm like, oh man, like how did I used to carve out an hour every week to go to the grocery store? But like I've leveraged technology and all I did was replace that, call it 45 minutes I saved because you still got to put the whole order in there. Um, yeah, I'm probably investing back in my kids now on the weekends because I used to go at Saturday morning at 8 o'clock before the whole world went to the grocery store. So like, I mean, yeah, there's good places I'm redirecting it, but I'm also like, oh yeah, like where'd that time go? We just let it absorb into everything else, right? So I think be very mindful. I appreciate that. Like that wasn't even a question we discussed, and you just crushed it. Be mindful of like what you're doing with that, and when you're leveraging this time, you either need to do more with the time you have that are currently putting in, or enjoy that balance a little bit more with the same time, because otherwise it'll just get absorbed into your day, and you'll always be as busy as you ever were.
Yeah. And I think what's what I think is really cool about this is like, especially the folks that listen to this podcast who businesses are growing, right? Like as your business grows, you're going to have newer complex challenges to deal with. So sometimes
Yep.
it's hard to look up and be like, oh yeah, like I don't take sales calls anymore.
Yeah.
Well, of course my day's different. Oh yeah, I'm not on the truck anymore. Oh yeah, I have someone doing my accounting for me. Like as we progress in our businesses, the tasks will change day to day.
Yep.
But I do think it's very important to like take stock of what we're doing with technology and be like, good, I'm replacing that
Yep.
40 minutes with something that's really value add and
Yeah.
not nothing. And the best value add, playing with your kids
Right.
versus
100%.
working on strategy.
Yes. Yes. 100%. Um, all right. What are some examples, right? So we talked about like marketing, email. I think you mentioned earlier about like finances, right? So like how are you leveraging technology to like look at some of your financial or do some of the financial tasks of your business or help analyze things? Like what are some ways you found technology, AI to be able to leverage that for finances in your business?
Yeah. I find finance to be one of the better ones because that one, and maybe this is just me talking, but for that was one of those 10 p.m. tasks. Like, oh my gosh. Reconciling and like just going through and making sure we use Ramp for credit card expenses, but just
Yeah.
like expense reconciliation generally was just like pulling teeth for me. And
Yeah.
so here's how I leverage AI to help is a lot of these products, QuickBooks has it, Ramp has it. Most accounting softwares have like automatic reconciliation now, not just where you can set linear rules by if
Yeah.
this merchant, then this BR code, but it can be like, okay, you know intelligently if there's a new merchant that it's probably this code. So I spent some time just going through with the AI assistant in Ramp and QuickBooks and making sure it was set up. And what I did is I recorded a Loom video of myself going through it for like for a month.
Yeah.
And then I have a member of my team who's a VA in the Philippines that checks the AI's work and lets me know if something feels off. And
That's
so
awesome.
I like to do a lot of like human in the loop stuff where it's like I have an AI agent that does something, aka categorize things, and then I have a human on my team who's
Yep, that
trained to
checks
do
it.
it, $10 an hour. And
Yeah.
then at the end of the month, he's just like, hey, everything looks good. Or hey, I had these 3 questions. And he'll Slack me.
Yep.
And I'll just be like, oh yeah, that was a weird thing. That's this. That's
Yeah.
this. That's this.
That's
And so
cool.
it's cut down, the 10 p.m. All right, great. Can't wait to go categorize a few hundred expenses
Right.
or check the automatic categorization stats like Raymar does it and he
Yeah.
does it every week. And so
That's
now
awesome.
our books are closed faster and we can get more into like the strategic items, AKA, all right, how do we do budget versus actuals? What categories were we off by? Why was that? What do we need to change in the way we run our business?
That's cool, man. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I think, too, as we talk about certain things, and this is something we're really looking into more and more, is like, how do we even leverage things like Zapier to help automate and streamline just data analysis too, right? That's a big thing that we're looking more and more into as we build out some more visualized dashboards for our clients and certain things, and just how do we make things more efficient and talking to each other, rather than having a sheet for this and a Google sheet for this and a Google sheet for this. Like, how do we get it more integrated seamlessly? Which I feel like we've nailed part one of that. We just need to nail part two now on, again, making it more friendly to talk to one another and stuff. So, um,
Yeah, the Zapier piece of this, like Zapier is not AI. You can
yeah,
write Zaps with AI, but it is like that is something that's not going to be replaced for a long time, I think,
yeah.
in a lot of
I think the only
businesses.
thing is like more softwares are natively talking to one another, which is cool
Yes.
because then like it eliminates the middle third parties app, but it's the same concept, right? So either way, yeah, I think that's something that I always forget still exists to some
Can
degree.
I can I like nerd out for a hot second about AI?
Always,
Okay,
always.
so like what Zapier is it allowed for APIs, which is just two softwares talking to each other, right? And Zapier said, hey, these two softwares don't have API. Even if they do have APIs, you probably don't have the time to set them up, and maybe they don't, but they have an API to me, so I can be the middleman between
Yep.
these softwares, right? What's what's cool about a lot of these tools is like, because of how popular Zapier is and effective is, a lot of these tools now are making it easier and easier to connect with each other, and you don't necessarily need Zapier. There's tools like N8N, et cetera. And so what this means for us business owners is that it's like going to continue to get cheaper and easier and more user friendly for us to not only say, we don't have to know anything technically to say like, I want Stripe every time a transaction goes through to send my team a message in Slack.
Yeah.
And now,
because Stripe and Slack naturally talk to each other now.
Right. There's just all these native integrations. And so
Yep.
that's what's cool. And what's cool about it is all the work to make those things integrate before AI can say, tell me what you want. I can interpret that and translate that into code. So anyways, that's a little bit of a
I love it.
caveat,
No,
but
that's
that's
good.
where I see the power of AI really taking hold
Yeah.
for us.
Like, I love it too, because like you helped us discover Typeform, and like that's my new favorite thing in the world for many reasons. But one thing I love is its natural integrations into all these different things, right?
Yes.
To where now, for example, we used it for our retreat. You fill out the Typeform, it automatically sends you to Stripe. You pay for your ticket. It adds your name to a Google Sheet that we have for our retreat that we're tracking all of our attendees. I get a Slack message that you paid for your retreat ticket, and like, boom, I don't have to touch anything, right?
It all just
Same
happens.
thing. Every time somebody fills out a contact form to schedule an analysis call with us, it automatically inputs you into our CRM. I get a Slack message about it. Like, perfect, right? So that's huge. That's a really solid point. And I think that's some of the stuff too, that is, we're talking about AI and we're talking about all these different kind of areas of business. Like, those are the things that I would continue to look into, right? Like, we're talking like AI, but I'm almost thinking like just the automation side of things too, right? How do we make this easier? Now, granted, we still need human checks, and there still is a human component to some degree, right? I've seen way too many people put 10 hours into researching how to do something that they literally could have paid somebody 10 to even $20 an hour as an office person to do for 5 hours a year. Like, so be limited in it, right? But for me, it was like, hey, this is great. We can set up these automations. I don't have to go add them to the Google Sheet. I don't have to add them to our CRM. Because the softwares are easy to use now, it takes me 10 minutes to set up the integration. And guess what? That 10-minute investment will return hours over the next year, 3 years of our business. So, find ways to just simplify and streamline some of that stuff.
The automation and AI, they're not always the same thing, but they're very related.
Yeah.
One way that I think this is so powerful, to your point around like, okay, form fills. Michael Chaney, who spoke from No Drip Painting, who spoke at the Elite Business Advisor, that was one of the best talks I've been to in a long time. And she outlined and shared how in her painting business, she has a lot of her team do like end of day forms or end of day updates. And we'd always done a version of that, but after listening to our talk, we really like ramped it up. And so now every function, everyone does an end of day form fill on Typeform. It sends it to Slack and it puts it in a Google Sheet. Automation.
Love it.
Right, not AI. But what's been really cool is now my managers can take that Google Sheet, they can plug it into ChatGPT, and they can be like, hey, can you go take a peek at all of my team members' daily updates for the last month and see if there are any insights or red flags that I should be aware of? And like an example trend is we saw that like our overall scores for engagement for our sales reps was just like lower on Mondays.
Yeah.
It's a little like Monday blues. And so, okay, how can we make sure Mondays are a little bit more fun or more ramped up? And how can we make sure, and a lot of it was like, oh, we do pipeline review on Monday. There's a lot of pressure there for making sure they know what to do for the next week, et cetera. How can we make that a little bit more fun? So that's how you take something that's automation, aka just technology, not AI, and then you add a little twist of putting that into an LLM, and it's in minutes, you can get good analysis and then you can take action versus being like, all right, I can't wait to block off 2 hours to look through, 30 responses times 4 sales reps. Like that's going to take you hours, but now AI, you can have some good action out of it in minutes.
I love it, man. I love it. Another use marketing wise, and we're going to get to the fun recruiting part in a second. But like another use I've seen for marketing on it, we talked earlier about the email, but just helping script out content and videos, We use this all the time for stuff of like, hey, there's this holiday. How do we bring Labor Day home to the painting industry? Right. And like how you can leverage that to just help come up with, hey, let's put 7 ideas together on what, videos we could put, with the script and everything. And here's our Instagram profile, use our brand and our feel in writing this to help just lay out a video. Right. And we did that, I think, for Labor Day. I know we did it earlier this year for something else too. So don't overthink it. People are like, well, I don't know what to do. Right. I don't know what to post. I don't know what to do. It's like, just leverage ChatGPT. It's going to give you some ideas. Right. So, all right, let's talk recruiting. I do want you, and this is one thing I always appreciate about you. You lead with value, and that's why we've always hit it off so well. But I'm going to force you to mention HireBus here in recruiting, just because of what you guys have built out. And I know it's not why you came on here, but I want you to kind of highlight that a little bit and just how you guys are using it. Even if you want to share like an example of like one of your AI agent interviews or something like that. But I would love for you guys to just kind of use, because obviously we're a big supporter of you guys and what you're doing here and stuff. But I think when it comes to recruiting, there's so much you can use and leverage technology for that I don't think a lot of people are. So like share a couple of ways that HireBus has kind of helped solve that in the recruiting space.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate it. So with recruiting, part of the reason that like recruiting is such a good place for use of AI is because it ticks a lot of the boxes that I was talking about earlier, where it's like, okay, is it cheaper? Is it faster? Or is it better? And recruiting ticks a lot of those boxes because recruiting is full of a lot of like menial tasks, right?
Yep. A
It's
lot of
like
wasted time.
a lot of wasted time. So, if we just rattle off faster, it's like reviewing resumes, posting job ads, messaging back and forth with candidates, scheduling candidates. All of those tasks, just the first 4 that come to mind and how you recruit, are incredibly like mindless, low level tasks. But with recruiting, you just have to do it with a ton of people. And you have to do it, especially in a market where people are applying for the roles. So there's a lot of wasted effort because a bunch of back and forth with someone could lead to a no show
Yeah.
or someone taking a different offer. So it's especially painful. And it is a revenue generating exercise, but it's delayed. Whereas like a
Yeah.
sale, you get money right away.
Yep.
With a hire, it's going to generate revenue for you, and it's actually how you only way to grow your business and grow revenue.
Right.
But like initially, it's a cost, and so
Yep.
it can feel a little more painful. And so that's why we built this to tackle a lot of those tasks. Basically, what HireBus does with AI is we do everything for you except make the final decision. It's kind of that 80% that we're talking about with marketing, right? It's
Yeah.
like I wouldn't want AI just hiring for me. But what I do want AI to do is to give me a bunch of finalists so then I can make the final decision. I want it to make the draft, and then I
Yeah.
want to review it and say, yeah, that's what we want as the final candidate or the final copy. So we post job ads with it. We rewrite job ads. We test job ads. We message candidates. We have them fill out a form. We analyze them. We now do AI phone interviews with them where we can ask them like if they can handle objections, if they're a sales rep or if they're a CSR, how do they answer the phone. And so what's cool is now we use AI agents to do all of those things, except
Yeah.
you just do the final interview and make the decision. So it's pretty cool. I mean, if you want to get down into the technology aspect of it, what's really powerful is, so you've all heard of ChatGPT. You've probably heard of like
Yep.
Anthropic Claude or Google's Gemini or even Whisper. The way we built it is we've built it so that the app itself can call any model. A new model comes out, great. We just plug that model in, and now that version of ChatGPT is messaging candidates. Oh,
That's cool.
there's another model that come out. Great. That's what's doing the AI interview. Oh, another model came out. That's what's scoring. So it's all modular so that as the technology grows, everyone that uses HireBus just gets the latest and greatest doing
That's
the
cool.
actions. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Do you have like an AI interview pulled up?
Yeah, I can get one up right now. Let me
Just
show you.
play like 30 seconds for a minute of one if you can.
All right, cool.
Just because I don't want to run this too terribly long. But like here's why. Because I was very hesitant with AI phone conversations, right? And the more that I've heard, and you and I've talked a lot about this, I've seen a lot of what you guys are doing. And P.S., if you want a short visual of some of this, check this out on our YouTube channel. All of our podcasts are going on there now. And so Dan's got a screen pulled up here if you want to kind of see a visual about HireBus. But I love it because it's not like weird and robotic, right? It is very natural. So feel free, see if the audio will come through.
All right, we're talking about technology for 30 minutes. We'll see if we can actually pull it off.
Yeah.
All right, let me know if you can hear it.
No. Click when you get out of your share, make sure you've got it selected for share sound.
All right. All right, I think I've got it now. Here, should we test it?
Yeah, go for it.
Great. To start, can you briefly describe your background?
Good.
Ready to begin?
Yes.
All right. Should we ready to go? We'll do a little editing of this. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you're good. Let me make a quick note on that. All right, you're good.
All right, we'll give this a try. We're talking about technology, so hopefully we can pull off sharing sound here.
Great. To start, can you briefly describe your background and experience as it relates to customer service or dispatching?
So I have extensive customer service and dispatching experience. I've been working within the home services industry for 5 years now. I started working with Gettle as a dispatcher, became a customer service supervisor, and then I went to a company called Viking Heating and Air Conditioning, and I worked there as the office manager. Before I took on the office manager role, I was also working as a project coordinator and dispatcher. So yeah, I've got extensive experience with Service Titan and Service Fusion.
Thanks, Brandon. You mentioned experience with Service Titan. Can you describe your proficiency with it or similar CRM software?
So I'm pretty proficient. I'm very proficient with it, actually.
It's so great.
Isn't that
it's so great because like it really will allow like it'll adapt to the conversations. I think that's the cool part. That's what people think like, oh, it's just asking a question and then letting them respond, ask them a question, let them respond. And obviously you're preloading some of these questions in here, but like it literally picked up on the fact, like that was a perfect example that it was like, oh, I have experience with Service Titan. And it's like, oh, hey, you mentioned this. Can you tell me more about that? Right.
It's crazy. And like, what's cool about it, sure, we have some clients where we load up the specific questions, but more often than not, it performs better when you say, hey, I want you to understand this, this, and this about them.
Yeah.
For that example you just mentioned, like one of the requirements of the role is Service Titan. That's the CRM they use. And so it was able to pick up and be like, oh, I'm supposed to figure this out. Like, and so we actually dissuade people from saying, hey, these are the 6 questions we want to ask, because that's where it feels robotic. And like, is it better than the best phone interviewer human asking that? Probably not. But the nice thing that we're seeing, most of these are happening at night.
Yeah.
That's when the best candidates are available because they're working. It's happening exactly when the person wants to and can apply. And so the results we're seeing, and I'll get off this in a second, but the results we're seeing are like 3 times more candidates are completing their applications than our prior software with AI. The time to hire on average, it was 25.4 days. It's like 9.6 and shrinking as we get more people in more roles in the pipeline. So
that's cool.
And it's just because, well, guess what's
convenience.
Fast? AI is fast. And guess what people want? They want to self-serve. People want to order on the McDonald's screen by touching the things.
Yep. Unless you're our parents.
Yes.
Then we're going to hear them complain about that. But like,
exactly.
Sorry, Mom. But it's so true, man. And that's what I love about it, right? Like, I love the way that you guys have built this. And I think that, like, honestly, HireBus is a great example of how you can attack. Again, I always call it the big 5, right? Finances, marketing, estimating sales, recruiting, and then operations/production. Like, HireBus is a perfect example of how you can attack an entire area of your business and just streamline the whole process. Make it the 80-20 rule. How do we get it 80% of the way there? Right? How do we actually serve these clients better? And guess what? Thanks to technology, it's not weird. It's not robotic. It's not terrible. And we're all used to it at this point. Right. And so I would encourage you to like keep finding ways to continue plugging into it. I know there's a software, you and I were talking about it earlier. I think they're ready to kind of start doing some soft rollouts with it here at these fall PCA events. I know Jess will be at the residential conference, but there's a software called Idillo, IDYLLO. I've been talking to Jess, one of the co-founders, since PCA Expo back in February, that they're rolling out this software where you can literally like voice text and it puts a proposal together with your numbers and everything. And she was here in St. Louis, and I beta tested it on her iPad as they're like getting this thing built, and literally did like a $22,000 interior quote, second floor, main floor, basement, all different scopes of work on each floor, voice texted it in like a minute. And within like another minute and a half afterwards, it literally spit out a proposal. And obviously some of the production rates needed minorly tweaked, but I was like, I just did a $22,000 bid in like 3 minutes, and it was writing it to put it together to be presentable to like, and then, so there's even things coming that most of the people haven't even heard about yet. I hope it's okay. I'm sharing that. I'll text her and edit this out if I have to, I guess.
Hey, is that okay?
Yeah. Is that okay that I'm like hyping your company up? People don't usually say no to that, but like,
yeah,
but that's the thing. Like there's so much happening in this space. It's hard to stay on top of it, but man, like there's some really impactful stuff coming with what you guys are doing, with how they're leveraging technology, and so much more to come in all the other spaces. So I appreciate your time, man. Anything you want to wrap up with? Just thoughts?
Yeah. Here's what I want to wrap up with, and I'm going to sound like a broken record. Obviously, like, I'm really passionate about hiring, HireBus, building software for that. But ultimately, when it comes to technology, it's as simple as, is this saving me time, money, or better? And maybe that's using technology to write a better SOP that your team can check. Maybe that's using technology to have an end of day form that people fill out so you have tabs. Maybe that's using like the estimating software that Chris just mentioned, or HireBus, right? So that you don't have to waste a bunch of time with hiring. Like whatever it is, it needs to check one or multiple of those boxes. And if that's true, go forth and jump on it. Because it's just like, if you can find 5, 6, 7, 8 versions of that in your business every few months, you're going to wake up and the thing's just going to run way, way, way more efficiently, which either means more money in your pocket or more time.
Love it, man. I love it. Well, thanks for hopping on here today. Check out HireBus. I 10 out of 10 would recommend it. And I always appreciate your insight, your conversation. We need to start just doing 3-part episodes. I feel like that might be like a 3-part series on this versus trying to cram all this into one episode. Because there's so many more rabbit holes we could have went down that I think would have been fruitful. So
we need to put more technology in our businesses so that we can spend more time doing awesome, like deep dives. Maybe that's our answer. That's our.
I'll commit to that for 2026 if you do.
Deal. Commitment. It's right there.
Let's do it. Boom. See you, brother.
Boom. All right. See ya. I'll see you at the PCA residential.
Look forward to it, man.
All right. Thanks.
I hope you enjoyed that episode and were able to take away a few nuggets to implement into your business. If you loved this episode, please leave us a rating and a review. It helps others on the platform find our podcast, and it could be the best blessing that's ever happened to them thanks to you. We at Elite Business Advisors are a huge supporter of the PCA, the Painting Contractors Association. If you're not familiar with the PCA and all of the benefits of membership, I highly recommend you check it out at www.painted.org. That's PAINTED.org. It looks like painted. And last but not least, if you're looking for an outsider's perspective as you navigate growth, schedule a free business analysis meeting with us at www.elitebusinessadvisors.com. We work with painting contractors all over North America to help them treat their business like a business. Our entire team of advisors all have experience in owning and running a painting company, so you aren't just getting a team that is teaching off of theory, but tried and true application of principles and systems. Thanks so much for listening in today. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you back next week.
Paint Ed podcasts are produced by the Painting Contractors Association and are made possible by members and industry partners. To find out more about the upcoming educational opportunities or for more information about joining the PCA, visit pcapainted.org.